all three quality teams, and we knew that when we entered this tournament. And Washington is a team that has been traditionally a top 10 program. They're right on the outskirts of the top 10 this week. I think they were 12th or 13th in the AVCA poll, but we have so much respect for Jim McLaughlin and the coaching staff at Washington. We played them, it seems like, a few years ago, but it was probably more like 5 or 6 years ago. The first trip we took to the Sweet 16, we ran into UW, and they beat us on their way to a national championship. So the fine program, good talent. They are a little younger than we are as far as who they're putting on the floor. Probably equal in talent, but I'm hoping that our experience will pay off for us there. But their strength is on the outside. They've got a kid named Van Sant, very good outside hitter, about 6'2", 6'2 and a half, was the #1 recruit in the country her senior year in high school, so she's a real dandy. Munoz is another outside hitter that plays a little bit of left, but mostly right. Very physical presence at the net as well. A kid named Parker that has impressed me with how dynamic and how fast and aggressive that she is. Their setters are a little green. They're starting a freshman. If they run the 6'2", they've got a freshman out of Austin that has not played a lot at the college level. And then a kid that played a little bit for him last year that is also one of those setters. And then their middles, Amanda Gill, who has sat out 2 years, one because she transferred from UCLA and the other because she was injured, and is now just kind of rounding back into shape. And their other middle is a kid that did not play a lot last year, but looks like a pretty good blocker to me. So they've always got a great libero. That's one of the things that Washington is well known for. So they're going to be a very formidable opponent. And we're kind of pleased that we're playing them first because we've had some time to really focus on them and get geared up for them. And we feel like if our kids play well, it'll be a great match against Washington. The next match will be the host school, that's Rice. And Rice has always been very strong in volleyball, and looking forward to going back to Rice. As you remember, 9 years ago was our second road trip. We went down to Rice when John and Kathy and I arrived here, and lost to Rice in a 5-game war. They had a couple of twins on their team, outside hitters that were international students, and they put on a show against us, and it was a real Donnybrook, but we lost that. So we're looking forward to going back to the scene of the crime and seeing if we can't avenge that loss from several years ago. But they got a really good middle in Nancy Nicole. I remember when she was playing as a club player, watched her. Did not recruit her because we didn't really need middle. We already had Anna Drury in the mix, and so we didn't recruit a middle. But she's a nice player. They've got some explosive outside hitters, and that'll be very tough for us to play one match and have about 2 hours in between and come back and play the host institution. So that'll be a real challenge for us. And then on Saturday we'll play LSU, and LSU is consistently in the top 3 or 4 of the Southeast Conference. They always put a lot of great athletes on the floor. I don't expect it to be any different this season with them. Have not watched them as much on tape yet as I have the other 2 schools, but I know they've got a really good middle that was all conference a year ago, that rang up a bunch of kills this past weekend. They've got some good experienced outside hitters. And I know that they'll be another really strong opponent for us. So we'll really find out quite a bit about our club this week. We felt like we learned some things last weekend that we focused on in practice this week. One of the things that we don't want to get locked into is feeling like we have to be a super team right now. I think our team senses some pressure to be really good with our ranking and with the expectations that are on us. But I want those expectations to fall down the road on this team. I don't want everybody to feel like we have to go undefeated to start the season off. If we do, great. But we just have to keep getting better with the personnel we have. We will be playing some young people. We'll be playing some inexperienced people. Even Carly Kramer, who's a household name around Purdue volleyball fans, sat out an entire year without playing, and she's going to continue to get better as it goes. And we still have some pieces to put together on this volleyball team. So just like every other club in America right now, we're a work in progress, and we're going to be patient with these guys. But on the other hand, if we get into a knockdown drag-out, I want to see who's going to outcompete the other team. And that's what we did last year very well. We were really tough mentally. We have to continue that this season.